I guarantee, if you ask 10 people about their sleep schedule, at least 8 of them will tell you they've barely been getting any sleep. Of course, most people spend their entire
driving
day
around and sitting down,
which contributes to sleeplessness.
But don't you remember when you were a little kid?
And you remember those nights when,
As soon as you hit the bed,
it's night for you.
it barely took you 5 seconds to fall asleep.
I ever wonder why.
Ever wondered where the phrase
Sleep like a baby came from?
Well, today, I'll teach you how to replicate those days. The days that made you fall asleep in 5 seconds.
Or even less. We used to fall asleep a lot faster and
easier when we were kids. And today's video will break down the reasons why.
without further ado, let's jump straight into it.
Number 1, you were mentally relaxed and at ease with yourself as a kid. Sleeplessness is usually caused by overthinking and stress.
Find yourself turning around in your bed,
Thinking about whatever, thinking about something someone said,
or a certain situation.
or general life problems.
The more you do that,
The more you train your brain to keep doing it,
on the other hand,
the more you fight thinking,
the more you will keep thinking,
because that's just how thinking works. The key here is to not care at all, which is what you usually did as a child. As a kid, you
could care less about what your brain
was trying to tell you.
Generally, that's why falling asleep was easier.
Of course, as adults, we learn to listen more to our thoughts
and try to reason our actions and whatnot.
But if there's something we can learn from
Our time as kids,
it's ignoring our thoughts from time to time.
especially when trying to sleep. That takes time and training. But the first step would be practicing counterthinking. For example, most thoughts that keep you awake at night are negative. What you could do is, whenever you have a negative thought,
You counter it with a positive alternative,
your brain will slowly give up.
and you'll slowly learn to ignore it.
Number 2, you used to move around a lot as a kid.
And were forced to have your vegetables.
Unfortunately, if you're watching this video, you're most likely a junk-eating couch potato. It hurts, I know, but it is the truth. It was the complete opposite when you were a little kid, and that's why it was easier to fall asleep back then. You used to have breakfast.
Instead of just a mug of coffee,
You used to have school lunch.
which was bad as it was.
It could never be as bad as the taco or burger
You're
having for lunch now, and no, we're having a side salad.
Does not make that healthy.
You'd spend the afternoon playing around,
Or doing after-school activities.
talking and shouting,
Running and playing.
which are all forms of physical activity.
And they all help you release the stress and extra energy you have.
Now it's just a quiet drive home from work or college,
And then straight to your phone, TV or gaming console.
with all the sugar, fats, and caffeine you consume. It's only natural not to fall asleep, especially if your day was sedentary. If you want to fall asleep as soon as you hit the bed, you better include physical activity in your daily schedule
And force yourself to have a balanced breakfast.
lunch and dinner. That's what we can learn from reflecting on
Our lives as kids, a combo of balance, nutrition, resistance training, and cardio will help you sleep like a baby. Number 3, you were more social as a kid, and you cried and laughed more.
Kids are so pure of heart,
They speak their minds more often than chit-chat.
a lot as adults.
We learn to suppress
Our feelings and ideas in an unhealthy way.
speaking what's on our mind more often with a close family member or a friend can help you be more relaxed.
And thus less stressed, which can help your sleep schedule immensely.
Kids don't suppress their laughter when they're mad. Kids can also be so mad, but as soon as someone does something funny, they burst out laughing right away. They also don't suppress their tears when having a good time.
And something bad happens. In other words, don't suppress that cry or laughter.
But we as adults can never laugh like mad if something funny transpires.
And that form of
Emotional suppression contributes greatly to stress, and therefore
sleeplessness
and a troubled mind. Kids also usually have more friends and chat more often in school,
or on the playground, which makes them more tired overall.
because talking is a
Great calorie burner, and B, it's a good stress reliever. Number 4, as a kid, your body produces
more melatonin. Kids' bodies produce more melatonin naturally, but as we grow older,
our bodies produce it way less.
you might be wondering what the flip is melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone that our bodies naturally produce in the pineal gland. It controls our biorhythms, also known as our sleep cycles. Children produce more melatonin.
Than adults. Remember at the beginning of the video when I mentioned the phrase, sleep like a baby.
Well, this is where it came from.
This aspect is often overlooked by people who experience sleeplessness and insomnia.
You may well be suffering a lack of melatonin in your body. especially if you don't have a well-balanced diet. You can boost your melatonin production by including certain foods
and remedies in your daily routine, such as milk,
nuts, cherries,
fish, oats, etc. And you can also get some sort of a good
quality melatonin supplement.
Okay. In summary,
To replicate those nights when you were a kid,
and fall asleep in 5 seconds,
or sometimes less.
you need to 1. Learn to ignore your troubled mind and negative thoughts when you're in bed.
2. Include resistance training,
Using equipment,
or just your body weight, and cardio in your daily routine.
overlook your diet as well.
Meal prep ahead, and enough with the fast food. Already number 3.
Be more social
And go out with friends and family more often.
Speak your mind and express what's troubling you
with close ones.
Number 4, make sure you help your adult produce more melatonin.
As it's an important hormone.
You can do so by
having a good diet
that includes milk,